Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Football. Match day 5, limitless team selection. The international break is over. Champions League football is back next week, and obviously, Champions League fantasy is back. If you've decided to play a limitless, I've come up with a team that could be good for you this match day. If you don't agree, let me know why. Which players would you go for instead? There's a few teams that have great fixtures. Man City have great fixtures, a great fixture. Sorry, AC Milan have a great fixture. So you have to really target those teams that have been conceding 4, 5, 6 goals. So the likes of Sturm Graz, the likes of Slovan, the likes of Sparta Prague, Young Boys. You have to target those teams, and you also have to target those big teams that have to win the games. Teams like Man City, Real Madrid as well, even Bayern Munich, even Arsenal, those teams, they have to win games now. They seriously have to win games because if you've like drawn one and then lost one, I don't think you can afford to lose another one. So a team like Man City now having lost to Sporting by 4 goals, and they also drew with Inter Milan. Now this is like a must-win game for them because they'll come up against the likes of Juventus soon. So they can't afford to lose this game, so you expect them to go very strong. We'll also get to see the squads of AC Milan and those teams before the match day starts. But this is the team that I think would do great for you. So with that said, Raphinha is the first person to be in the team. He's been absolutely incredible, like 14 points against Young Boys, 21 points against Bayern Munich, and 13 points against Red Star Belgrade. That is incredible. Like those kind of points, it's incredible. Like he has 3 assists, 5 goals, 2 Player of the Match awards. He scored twice from outside the box. He's been phenomenal. And against Brest, the game that they're playing at home, even if he gets 60 minutes, you can expect him to deliver once again. His ownership is high, not as it was very low at the beginning of the season, not this high. I think people have now realized that he's on absolutely incredible form this season. So Raphinha has to be in your team. And then what I said about Man City against Feyenoord have not been great this season so far. They've been conceding a lot of goals in the Champions League. I think they conceded 3 at home. They also conceded 3 against Leverkusen as well. They've been conceding goals. Feyenoord, and I'm going to go for a Man City double up. Foden has been in my team, I think, since match day 1. So in the limitless, I think you have to have him. There's a lot of people who don't have him, especially if you're not playing a limitless, or he's only selected by 12%. So he's a big differential. And I don't think there's a chance he doesn't start. I think he's been so good for them in the Champions League. He's not been performing in the league. I think he definitely will start in the Champions League. I didn't have him in match day 1. Brought him in for match day 2, and I've had him since then. And he's been delivering every single week. 14 points, 11 points, 8 points. Even against Sport in the game that they lost heavily, he's the one who scored. So Feyenoord next up. Foden, great pick for that, and especially if you don't feel like he's a great pick for next game against Juventus away. On a limitless, this is a perfect one. You have him for this week, and then you don't have him next time. But you have to double up. I think Haaland has to be there. Not the greatest games last time. Thankfully, I didn't captain him. He missed a penalty against Sporting. Horrific game for them. But I think for this one, international break, he's got 3 goals, a hat-trick for Norway. He can still score goals. I think he'll still be on penalties. So yeah, not to think. I think he's definitely still going to be on penalties. Maybe if it's 2-0 up, maybe someone else takes it, but I think he's still going to be on penalties. So I think you need to double up on their forward line. You can even talk about a triple up, but the problem is the third player is usually very hard to predict who's going to start. Is it going to be Doku? Is it going to be Savinho? Is Gundogan going to start a game? Is it going to be Kovacic going forward and scoring? It's very difficult. So I think for the next one, you can go forward defender. But first, let's go to the rest of the team. Let's start with Liverpool. Now, not an easy fixture for Liverpool. They're playing against Real Madrid, but Real Madrid have been conceding goals in the Champions League this season. They conceded a couple against Dortmund. They conceded against AC Milan, and they're not keeping a lot of clean sheets. And Salah and Liverpool have been scoring a lot of goals. They put 4 or 5 past Leverkusen. They scored, let me confirm that. They scored 4 goals against Leverkusen, so that's incredible. They won against Leipzig as well. They didn't concede in any of those games. They won 2-0 against Bologna. They won 3-0 against AC Milan, so they've been scoring goals. And I think Salah, even in this big game, if Liverpool win like a 3-2 or something, Salah will definitely be involved. Even if it's like a 2-2, Salah will definitely be involved. Selected by 27%. People who are not on a limitless and they own the likes of Haaland and Foden, it's very hard to own someone like a Salah. But on a limitless, you can definitely have Salah. And I think for this week, you have to have him for that home fixture against Real Madrid. I can't see it being 0-0. I can see goals in that game. Next up, let's talk about a few defenders. Now, Theo Hernandez didn't play for France, I think, the second game. He's going through some stuff. I he's psychologically tired. I don't know if he's going to make the game, but we'll get to see their lineup before they play against Slovan. So I'll just put Theo Hernandez there as the defensive cover for AC Milan. Very, very good fixture there. And I will have to double up on them. So I've gone for Pulisic in midfield. Very, very good fixture. You have to target Slovan. Slovan have been conceding a bunch of goals, and AC Milan did score. They scored against Liverpool. They scored against Real Madrid. They scored 3 against Real Madrid. They scored 3 against Club Brugge. The only game they didn't score was AC Milan. They also scored against Liverpool, the only team to score against Liverpool this season. So you can definitely see them scoring. Now, the forward line, I'm not sure about. Leao, Morati's Mark is injured, but I watched him playing for Spain. I don't know who to trust there. Tammy Abraham is there as well. Reinders has been very good for them in terms of getting forward and scoring. So could you go for him? I prefer Pulisic. Is also on corners. He's scored directly from a corner kick in the last game. So I'm going to go for double up there. Triple up, I think it's a bit too much. I don't trust AC Milan that much. The only teams I would triple up against like a Slovan would be like Man City and Bayern Munich and those teams. AC Milan don't trust that much to go for 3 players. But they've been on very good form. They almost scored 4 or 5 goals against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu recently. And then next up, I'm going to go for Man City triple up. I'm going to go for the defender. Gvardiol, he gets forward a lot on that left side. He can score a goal for sure. And if they're going to keep a clean sheet against Feyenoord, then you want those 6 points for Gvardiol there, and then plus some recovery points. But you can decide to go for a triple up in the forward line and ignore their defenders. Absolutely no problem, and they're not the strongest in terms of defense. Next up, the next play I'm going to go for, let's go back to the forward line. I am going to go for Lewandowski. I think Barcelona, they've just been incredible so far this season. Although they lost the last league game in the Champions League, they've been phenomenal. And I think I didn't own Lewandowski in the last match day, and it was a killer. Luckily, I had Gyökeres in my team, so that kind of smoothened the blow. But it was like, what if I had like Lewandowski instead of Haaland or someone? Because I knew he was going to obviously score against Red Star, but I don't think I could take out Haaland for Lewandowski. But probably I should have. He's been good, and the fixtures are really good for Barcelona now, like the last 2 match days. And I'm going to go for him in this one as well against Red Star. Their fixtures are still very good. I know they have Dortmund coming up, but even in that one, I can easily see Barcelona scoring 3. So Brest and then Atlanta, Benfica, Dortmund, tough games. The Brest have been doing well this season, but come on, I can easily see Barcelona scoring 3 there. In these 4 games, I can see Barcelona scoring at least 10 goals. So Lewandowski will probably chip in 3 or something at least. So Lewandowski up front, maybe even more. And then midfield-wise, let's go back to the midfield. Who's the next midfield I've gone for? I'm targeting Leverkusen as well. Good fixture for Leverkusen. So against Salzburg, they've not been great so far this season. I think Vats is a great pick, on by 40%. I currently don't have him in my team, and I'm a bit worried, but Vats is the midfielder to complete the limitless midfield, the player to complete the limitless midfield. And Vats has been incredible in all of those games for them, apart from the Liverpool one last time. He got 18 points against Feyenoord. He got 7 against AC Milan. He got 11 against Brest. Last time against Liverpool, they got battered, didn't really get involved at all. But for this one, Vats. And I'm going to throw in a couple of his teammates as well. I think you can triple up on them. Salzburg have not been scoring a lot, and Leverkusen at home, good team as always. And not Tapsoba, but Tapsoba is the wrong player there. Frimpong. Now, Frimpong and Grimaldo, they go forward so much, man. They're like strikers. So if this game ends like in a 3-0, let's say, you could easily see Vats scoring, Grimaldo, Frimpong getting assists, and Vats as well. I watched Germany when they won 7-0. He scored a couple of goals, including a free kick, very good free kick. He's lively. So all 3 of them, fine. Don't have to triple up on them. You can go for any other defenders if you like, but I've looked at all the fixtures, and I don't think there's too many good fixtures for the defenders. Like Sporting against Arsenal, I can see both teams scoring. Not Salah, Liverpool against Real Madrid, I can see both teams scoring. So defensively, I can see too many other options. But Leverkusen at home to Salzburg, even if they concede, Grimaldo and Frimpong are always attacking threats. So I've gone for them there. One player that I've chosen here, but I don't trust because he's been on the bench, been rested the last couple of games, is Bastoni. That is why I've also gone for Sommer in goal in case Bastoni doesn't play. But Bastoni is such a risk. He's not been playing the last 2 games. He's been rested because there are tougher games coming up on that weekend that they played those Champions League games. That's why I've doubled up with Sommer in case Bastoni doesn't start. They have a good fixture as well at home against Leipzig. So if you feel like you're okay to double up with them, no problem. You can always decide whether you want what you want to do. You can always decide if you just want Saliba in your team instead, even if they're playing Sporting. You could go for Trent Alexander-Arnold, even if they're playing Real Madrid. Depends on how you feel. Even if you don't care about the fixtures, you just want the player who's going to deliver ball recoveries and attacking returns. Literally up to you. The last forward player I have gone for in this one is Atletico Madrid. That is Griezmann. Fixture-wise, very, very good. I was thinking about doubling up on them. They're playing against Sparta Prague, and Griezmann is the one that I looked at a lot. Alvarez is not a bad pick as well, but I've gone for Griezmann. And you could also get your assist. And then the last goalkeeper I've gone for here is Chevalier. Where is Chevalier? Chevalier. There you go. So Bologna have not scored a single goal so far this season in the Champions League, and they're playing against Lille. It's a home game, so they could easily score. But again, the other goalkeepers, Alisson is currently not fit. Ederson, you could go for them, but I prefer the forward players, Haaland, Foden in this one. You could go for Ederson instead of Gvardiol if you prefer. Raya has Sporting. You can go for him if you prefer as well, depending on which goalkeeper is playing on the Tuesday and Wednesday for you. But I've gone for Chevalier as the last goalkeeper from Lille, playing against Bologna, a team that hasn't scored a goal so far this season. So that is the final Limitless team. The best Limitless team for match day 5. There's other players that you can go for. I thought about players from even Dinamo Zagreb. I think is it Dortmund that are playing against Dinamo Zagreb? Dortmund. Yeah, Dortmund. So Dinamo Zagreb, I don't think going for like a Schlotterbeck on your Limitless is advisable. Dinamo Zagreb have scored in all of those games. They've scored 2+ goals, even against Bayern Munich when they conceded 9. So yeah, you could decide to go for someone like a Gittens if you feel like it's going to be a 3-2 or something. No problem harassing those players. But players you can consider, Harry Kane for sure. You can consider Lookman. You can consider against Young Boys. You can also consider Reinders for AC Milan if you want to go for him instead of Pulisic. You can consider Ryan goal if you feel like he's going to make a lot of saves. Tillman, PSV, good fixtures as well at home. Vinicius, if you prefer, if you think it's going to be a high-scoring game, or Mbappe, whoever. Kolasinac from Atalanta, if you prefer him against Young Boys. So there's a lot of other picks that you could go for. Let me know. There's still updates. As I said, someone like a Theo Hernandez, he didn't play the last game. They said, just psychologically tired. So yeah, things can happen after international break. One of the players could miss, 2 of the players could miss out. So just make sure to check out and keep in touch with the latest injury news and all that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.